It is 12:01 on a tax deadline, whether that tax deadline is April 15th or the extension deadline of October 15th. At 12:01, at that minute of time, if you did not file your tax return and you knew you had to file a tax return, congrats, you have committed a federal tax crime. I'm sure that is not on your bucket list of things to do in life, but it happened. It's under US Code section 26 US Code section 7203 makes the willful failure to file a tax return a misdemeanor crime punishable up to 1 year of incarceration. That's the bad news is that you've committed a tax crime. The good news is millions and millions, I wouldn't say tens, probably hundreds of thousands of Americans each year commit this crime. They do not file tax return. It's very common. The IRS will prosecute very few um, non-filers, but they do prosecute some. The ones they prosecute are high-profile individuals and high income earners. So if you're a politician, you're a police chief, you're a another public figure, if you're Wesley Snipes, they will prosecute you for failure to file a tax return. Again, punishable up to 1 year of incarceration. They also, on occasion, will prosecute doctors or people in the community who are high earners or where they will get some publicity, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, yes, even a CPA who doesn't file his or her tax returns. They will prosecute you criminally. Now, if you find yourself, and it's fairly common that you've not filed a tax return for a number of years, what to do? You come and meet with me, and I will explain you basically first decision, what type of disclosure to make. You can do something called a domestic voluntary disclosure, where you would contact the IRS, give them your information, and inform them that you've not filed a tax return. That's basically turning yourself in. There is consequences to that where you may be interviewed by two IRS special agents. Your tax returns will likely be audited. The benefit of doing that is you will basically, it's a policy reason that you will not be prosecuted for the crime. You generally want to do the domestic voluntary disclosure, also called a noisy disclosure, when you are a high income earner or a high profile individual. Now, for most, the other type of disclosure is called a quiet disclosure. That's when you just go ahead, complete the tax returns, and file them with the IRS. You file, that is the strategy for most non-filers. Just file your tax returns and then you get them filed. You technically, again, have still committed that crime. But if you file the tax returns, and because there's so many non-filers out there, then you're most likely, it's a very safe strategy. That's called a quiet disclosure. Now, when you have a quiet disclosure, you have to decide how many years to file. You have to file, some people might not file for 20 years or et cetera. You have to decide how many years back to file. As a general rule of thumb, you want to go back 6 years, but sometimes there's other reasons to go back 3 years. Sometimes in extreme circumstances, you just want to just start filing going forward. That's an aggressive strategy. It all depends on the facts of your case. But so that's the next step when you're a non-filer. You complete all your tax returns, you file them, you submit the returns, and then once the returns are submitted, they'll take time to process. And then once they're processed, your case turns into a collection case where you will have collection alternatives if you cannot full pay the tax. So that is non-filers in a nutshell. And if you are a non-filer, you should definitely contact an attorney like us, and we will discuss your options and the cost of the case and have your matter resolved.